Hi, my name is Paul Grogan and welcome to the second in a series of gaming rules how to play videos for Cerebria The Inside World, designed by Victor Peter and Richard Amann and published by Mindclash Games. In this video I'll be covering the rules changes for the full game and for the 2 to 3 player variant. So if you haven't seen the video where I cover the basic game, then please click on the little eye in the corner and watch my other video first. There are a number of changes to make to the setup when playing the full game. When setting up the common aspiration deck and the hidden aspiration decks, use all 9 cards when playing the full game. The spirit boards are two-sided. Side A has the same actions for all spirits, and side B gives each spirit a unique set of actions. When playing the full game, you can use either side of the spirit board, but all players should either use side A or all players should use side B. Whichever side you use, the full game uses the Empower action that I'll explain in a later chapter. As in the basic game, you can place your initial 4 Wild Vibe tokens however you like, choosing to start with your choice of 4 actions unlocked, or you could start with fewer actions unlocked, but some of them upgraded. When it comes to constructing your own deck of emotion cards, the rules don't change for the full game. You still create a deck of 16 emotion cards with no more than 2 of each type. Your deck, however, cannot start with any strong emotions, which are the cards with this symbol on the back. But these strong emotions are used in the full game, so your team's deck of strong emotions should be set aside. Don't shuffle it, and in fact, it's better if the cards are in alphabetical order. After determining the order of play, the placement of spirit figures and starting emotions is determined. In turn order, each player places their spirit figure on an empty space on one of the 5 frontiers. And when placing your figure, you should also place a starting emotion card, brightness for bliss and bleakness for gloom. And you place that emotion card onto an empty slot adjacent to your frontier's emotion slot. You cannot place it on the frontier emotion slot itself. And then place 1 essence from the general supply onto the emotion. Note that these initial placement rules are exceptions to the normal placement rules for emotions when you use the invoke emotion action, but it's just for setup. After all players have chosen where to start and placed the starting emotions, control of the realms and frontiers should now be determined. For example, if the spirit figures and emotion cards were placed like this, then Bliss would control the realm of Network of Thoughts, and Gloom would control the realm of Valley of Motives, and the other 3 realms would be uncontrolled. And Bliss controls these frontiers here and here, and Gloom controls the frontiers here and here. And finally, in the full game you will be using the Wheel of Intentions, so each team places their point counter on the 0 space of this wheel. That's all of the changes to the setup, so I'll now cover the extra rules. The 5th action on each spirit board is the Empower action. This allows you to replace one of your mild emotions with its stronger counterpart. To perform this action, choose one of your mild emotions adjacent to your spirit figure. The emotion you choose must have reached its Empower threshold. That is, it must have at least enough essence on it to cover the space showing the Empower icon. Then pay 3 willpower to discard the mild emotion, placing it on the bottom of your deck, and replace it with its strong counterpart from your strong emotion deck. And this is why it's useful to have the deck in alphabetical order, so that you can more easily find the card that you need. Any essence that was on the mild emotion is transferred over to the new one, but any other tokens on the old emotion are discarded. Note the right hand side of each emotion shows the name of the stronger emotion that it can be empowered into. Some strong emotions have powers that trigger when they come into play, and others have different effects. This can be found on the reference sheet. The channeled power upgrade allows you to spend 1 ambition to add 1 essence from the general supply to the mild emotion before you upgrade it, as long as there is space. And this actually allows you to add essence to an emotion that was just below the threshold to then be able to empower it. The emotional outburst upgrade allows you to spend 1 additional willpower to empower any emotion on the board, not just one that's adjacent to your spirit. In the full game, there is another way to score points which are recorded on your Wheel of Intentions. Your team board, whichever side you choose to use, depicts the 4 intentions for you to try and accomplish. Remember, you can use either side of the team board, but both teams should be using the same side. If you accomplish one of these intentions on your turn, you score 1 point. And for each intention that you accomplish on your turn beyond the first, you score 2 points. The intentions are all fully explained in the appendix at the back of the rulebook. and the points that you gain from intentions are tracked on the wheel. And whenever your marker lands on or passes a marked space, you get an extra free bonus. This icon means that you gain 1 essence, this icon means that you draw 1 card, and this icon means that you gain 1 ambition. When playing with the Wheel of Intentions, there is a third way that the game can end. If your counter reaches 20 points, the end of the game is also triggered, but you still play out the rest of your turn as normal, and you can go over 20 points. Just keep tracking the additional points around the wheel. These points are added to your final score at the end of the game. In the full game, each spirit has a spirit power, and because you have 4 spirits to choose from on each team, and the spirit boards are 2-sided, the combination of spirit powers can make games play out very differently. All the spirit powers are fully explained in the appendix at the back of the rulebook. There are a couple of different ways to play a game with fewer than 4 players. You could just have 1 player controlling 2 different spirits. This can be challenging but a very rewarding experience. Alternatively, the team with only 1 player could play as a shaper, which is where you control only 1 spirit. The downside of playing a shaper is that it will be more difficult to cover the whole board, but it does mean that all the resources and ambition are yours to do with what you want. When playing as a shaper, you still get an emotion deck of 16 cards as per the normal rules, and you start with 2 essence and 4 willpower as normal. In a game with 2 shapers, i.e. 1 on each side, just use 2 player order markers, 1 for each player. In a 3-player game, the shaper should play 2nd and 4th, using 2 player order markers for the shaper's spirit. In all cases, whoever goes first flips their action tracker token over and starts the game with 2 additional willpower as normal. When you place the starting emotions on the board, you place your first one near your spirit figure as normal, but not adjacent as mentioned earlier. But you place your second one as if you had a second spirit figure somewhere on the board on one of the remaining spaces. And in a game with 2 shapers, the first player will choose a space from one of the 3 empty ones, and that space cannot then be chosen by the second shaper. I hope you found this video useful in understanding the differences between the basic game and the full game of Cerebria. If you have any questions about the game, then please post them in the comments below. And for more of my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, take care and thanks for watching.